What is going on? Welcome to ednews.com. It's your host, EJ Carrion, and today we have an exciting interview with Dr. Georgianne Warnock, the superintendent at Terrell ISD. She is also the subbing superintendent on TikTok with over 40,000 views, and she's going to share her stories of how she got there, but then also share some strategies of how to use TikTok as a leader in education. So let's welcome Dr. Warnock.
Thanks, EJ. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So just tell your story to finding TikTok. How'd you get to TikTok and make it a part of your regular communication?
Sure. Well, I started on TikTok because I have teenage children. So 4 sons between 14 and 20. And just really started on TikTok to follow what their content was. And, I want to make sure they're leaving a really great digital footprint. And I fell deep into the rabbit hole of teachers of TikTok and just really saw it as a space. I mean, so much creativity, so much fun, but also just some voice around some of the challenges that teachers are facing in public education right now. And I didn't really see a leadership voice in response to some of the concerns. And so one morning, randomly, with a towel on my head, I said, hey, I'm going out to classes today. I'm going to be substituting, and I'm going to film a video and let you know how it goes. And that was just the beginning of documenting my journey in leadership during this pandemic on TikTok. And I've been substituting now in our schools about once a week. And so just, I'm laughing, I was in the car one morning, well, I'm going to substitute again. So I guess I'm the subbing superintendent. And that just kind of stuck as a name. I had someone reach out and say, you should change your title to that. And I've been really shocked at the response of followers, but it's been this really beautiful community in a lot of ways. I've learned so much. I continue to learn, and I'm getting to engage and connect with educators in Philadelphia and Indiana and Georgia. I've had people call or working on projects now in some different spaces in Nevada. So it's been really great experience.
Yeah. Now, Terrell ISD, 5,000 students-ish, and the city itself probably is not too big. So I'm assuming your TikTok account is larger than the city that you're leading in. Is that about right?
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, probably. Maybe it's about double. I think we're right about 25,000 people, here in Terrell. A lot bigger during the day because we have a lot of industry people that come in to work here. And yeah, we're right at 5,000 students. So for sure bigger than our school.
So I grew up in a small town in Texas as well. So a lot of, things hit the pavement in a small town. Everyone gets to kind of talk about things and hear things. How has Terrell responded to your kind of national presence on TikTok?
Oh, I think, I'll have some parents have reached out and said, it's been so great. My cousin in Georgia said, is that your superintendent? And so I think I haven't had anything but just supportive comments from our parents. And then I've loved it too, because some of our teachers or staff will engage in different ways. I've gotten to see their creativity and feel like I'm getting to know them outside of the workspace, just from some of the things that the content they share. And then to see comments from educators all over, asking about, facilities and what's important, or teacher evaluation, or, this, yesterday I posted a video about Ukraine, and it's been helpful to me because, an educator in Oklahoma might respond to me and say, hey, that's a terrible idea, cut it out. And whereas someone here might not feel safe to do that. I mean, I want them to feel safe to do that. So it's, for all those reasons, it's been great.
What are some of your advice to other leaders who maybe feel like social media is scary or maybe, not as traditional for communication usually for superintendents. What's kind of your advice to people who maybe want to dip their toe in the water, but they're still maybe a little cautious?
Yeah, I think that you have to, I mean, my journey is just one example of a journey. There's so many paths to leadership, and something to talk about. There's no one leader, that is the best leader. You think about MLK, Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, all had very different leadership profiles, but all were really effective. So I think that a leader that's wanting to move into social media in this capacity, if you're not comfortable with engaging authentically in that space, then this might not be the venue for you, and that's okay. That's okay. I think that though people do want to see what you think, I think people want to get to know you as a person. I think people want that authenticity and to be able to get connected in more, more ways than just like at a school board meeting.
Yeah.
So I think that there's so many different venues. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been kind of trying to do some cross posting to connect with different audiences. But for me right now, I feel most comfortable in this space because I like being able to record a quick video, ask questions, have where you can comment and respond to those. That's been, it felt like a good fit for me, but it doesn't mean it would be for everybody.
Yeah, it does. So does that mean pre-TikTok, you weren't someone who was always kind of attracted to social media tools or being on things before, huh?
So I have been. So I'll say that I really, and still Facebook is really popular in our community. So we have a lot of reach on Facebook still. And so we do a lot of communication through Facebook. So we do Wednesdays with Warnock, where we go and highlight different programs or students or teachers or things that are happening in our district and push that out on our district Facebook channels. We have, some coffee chats or sit down with the superintendent. We've done some two-way Facebook Live things. Coming in as superintendent in January of 2020, right? Yeah. I mean, before the world stopped turning, it was really important for me to be able to leverage social media coming into this small town where I was new here and getting, to connect with people in the next best way if we couldn't be in person.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What is some things that I imagine now with the TikTok stuff, that's kind of the lead conversation. What are some other things you're excited about at Terrell ISD and things you guys are working on outside of your kind of success using social media to captivate? Yeah.
Yeah. We have so many great things that are happening here. So we've really worked to expand our early literacy efforts. So we got a grant. We retrofitted a school bus to be a literacy, mobile literacy space, but it has like touch screens, and we're getting that out in the community for kids to be able, if you can't get to the library, we're going to bring it to you. So excited about that. We have shifted our pre-K center to theme-based, play-based learning, to where I might spend 3 weeks under the big top in a circus theme where I'm learning all about different animals and play. Then next I'm going to community and I'm getting to be a veterinarian or a firefighter or a police officer and running the grocery store and learning all of our math and rich language through those experiences. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the mental health work that we're doing here. We've brought in additional counseling support, LPC for students, which has been huge. Every time I go, I have a superintendent's advisory group at our high school and our middle school. Every time I go to the high school and ask, hey, what's going well? It's the first question I ask. Kids always lead with that we have more mental health support here, and it's so important. So we're doing some family community outreach initiative, and I'm really excited about where that would go. Partnering with our community college, we have just a huge and growing percentage of our students that are getting career certifications, that are getting their associate's degree here while they're in high school, and then, can take that on as they, move down the road into either take that 2-year degree or pursue a 4-year degree afterwards. So I think all of those kinds of partnerships and things that we're doing are really exciting. And so I'm thrilled about the opportunities that we're promoting here in a small but really rapidly growing district.
Yeah. I want to hit 2 last questions, and the last one will be more kind of future forward. But I wanted to talk about, because I know you also have experience in DFW area. As you've seen a lot of leaders in your position kind of moving on or deciding to go do something else. What have you seen across your peers in your community being discussed of staying in the role, staying in the work, and just the overall landscape of anyone, even who maybe aspires to want to be a superintendent? It seems like there's a lot of opportunity to do so here in Texas. What are some things that you're seeing as someone who's so close to the action? How far is Terrell from Dallas?
25 miles.
So not, that's basically a part of the Metroplex for some. So
I think that because there is a lot of discussion about what seems like a superintendent exodus, and it's here, but it's around the nation. I feel like that some of those leaders are people that might have been ready to retire earlier, but because of the pandemic felt like I want to stay here and be in the space. I don't want to have a new leader coming in at that time. And I think too, just the schools right now are at the crosshair of a lot of politicization that we've seen around different issues, with everything from books to masks and vaccines and critical race theory. I mean, all of those discussions. I don't think that's why leaders are stepping out, but I think that it does cast some of the challenge around the role. But I think we have a lot of up and coming leaders that are excited about stepping into superintendencies. We had over 200 aspiring superintendents attend our state led Aspiring Superintendents Academy. So, and I get to talk to leaders all the time that are interested in becoming a superintendent, that want to step into that role. So I think some of it is just circumstance. I've been asked, is there a conspiracy? What do superintendents know that we don't know? And there's not a conspiracy. It is a hard job. And there's been a lot of people put 30 or 40 years into that career that are, ready to step into a new challenge or to, spend more time with family.
Yeah. My last kind of question will be around, where do you see kind of leading a school going from here? I read some of your articles and some of your kind of advice of how social media plays into play to communication with the usage of pictures and messages and videos, maybe rather than text, and all these other kind of ways to engage people. But at a deeper level, systemically, I've seen the things around, you discuss about kind of the rate of getting teachers back into the classroom, or enough teachers, and finding enough teachers, sustaining teacher morale. What is, systemically, do you see are some of the shifting points in the system that you're trying to push and pull post-pandemic that you now see as important after going through the last, 2.5 years?
It's a great question. So there is nothing more important right now, I believe, than teacher morale. So I believe teacher morale is our number one fix, and it's a right now issue. It's also a longer term issue. And I think 3 big pieces that we're going to have to look at just as a society is teacher pay, the professionalism and the lift up of teachers. In countries where teachers are highly revered as, the leaders of a community, I think we have to get back to that kind of respect for the profession as a nation. I feel like we have a lot of that in our community, and I'm very thankful for that. And I think we have to also be having policies that are common sense policy around, what the expectations are. But I think for right now, in the moment when we talk about teacher morale, that we need to be as leaders listening to teachers about what their concerns are, their needs are, and other educators too. I mean, our counselors, librarians, paraprofessionals, and then working to co-author solutions so that we're solving problems together. People support things that they have a hand in creating. And so I think that is, that's critical. I made the analogy with a group that I was talking to the other day, because I was like, we're the architects of the system. We can change the architecture. And then I started thinking like, well, maybe we're not the architects, because a lot of how the system is set up is based on federal and state legislation. But we are definitely the interior designer here, right? So if I can't architect a system, I certainly, within the space that is here, can say, we need to move this wall, we're going to create a new entry. So within the current structure, until there's some new architecture, what can we do to design and arrange so that we're a great, fun space? I mean, teaching should be so full of joy, and we want to bring that to our little corner of the world, and want to inspire that to be happening everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on ednews.com and also just the joy that you bring to TikTok. I think as a leader, myself, and just trying to figure out social media, it's really cool just to see your natural authenticity and just humanization of your role on TikTok. You can definitely tell you're probably a great person to work with, and there's a lot of great magic happening in Terrell.
Thanks, EJ. I really appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out and having the opportunity to chat today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, have a good one.
You too. Bye.